Hello everyone. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for joining us. We apologize for the delay. We had like some sound check issues we were trying to straighten out. My name is Davita, and I am fighting for freedom alongside my husband. His name is Rodney Pitts. He is at WCI. Fighting for Freedom is a platform designed to give those individuals who are behind the walls, those who are incarcerated, a voice. We just wanted to give them a place and a space where they could call in and give us some information about them, what's going on with them, how they're doing. Fighting for Freedom comes on. We air every third Sunday at 7 o'clock. Today is an exception because Father's Day is next Sunday, so we decided to come on a week early. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell everyone about us. We have a very special guest for you guys tonight. Actually, two. My cat is behind us, so he's on the show as well. We have a very, very special guest. I want to thank you for coming on, Mr. Wesley Moore Jr. He is I don't know what happened. There we go. There we go. He is at WCI. He is on the show today. We want to thank you, Mr. Moore. Thank you for your time. Introduce yourself to everyone.
Having me. Thank you for having me. My name is Wes Moore Jr. Um, I'm currently serving a 40-year sentence at WTI. Um, I have a backstory that I think a lot of people would love to hear. The things that I'm connected to, the people that I'm connected to. I feel it'll be a strong message to send out to a lot of younger people in different positions and older guys that may have made those decisions that didn't think that it would pan out the way that it would. Um, and I just want to explain my story so that I can be a voice for someone else.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming on again. Um, Tell us about um, the younger Wesley Moore, the 7-year old guy who was, I'm assuming, was raised in Baltimore.
Uh, well, when I was young, I had a pretty cool life. I came up in West Baltimore, uh, Winchester apartment. Um, so it was pretty. I would like to say it was fair. I played baseball coming up. I had a lot of family members in my area. I didn't have too much to worry about at that time. We did have a lot of drug activity going on where those you've seen a lot. You've seen a lot of violence. You've seen a lot of this and that, but you had resources within the community like the house centers and stuff like that that helped those situations when it felt too much for a kid at that age. But I pretty much had a good life. I had my family around me. My mother did everything that she could. My father at the time was incarcerated. My father is Westmore Senior. We'll get to that in a little bit, but he was incarcerated in the early 2000s. Um, and that probably was the major thing that shifted in my life for not having that part, for not having him there in those years. So besides that, everything was great. Like I got into baseball, I got into football, I got into all sports. I was an honor student in school at all times,
Okay.
um, and I had a great time with my family at all times. Um, but things shifted along the way because of that missing piece.
Okay. So
Um,
you got 40 years. What happened? What was you charged with?
I was charged with armed robbery, kidnapping, false, it was first degree assault, uh, and home invasion.
And so they charged you with that.
It was all a
Um,
yeah,
I'm sorry about that. You was charged with those things, ultimately convicted and given
yeah.
40-year sentence.
40 years sentence. Yes, ma'am. And throughout my imprisonment, I found that uh, the sentence was given illegally. Also, um, I have an A and B sentence that I'm focused on getting in court to get that rectified right now.
What does
Um,
that mean? You said you had an A and B sentence.
law, that means that it's a sentence that runs on top of another sentence. They're supposed to consolidate your sentences. They're not supposed to have it separated. You're not supposed to have two different sentences running one. So once you get your sentence, it's supposed to be strictly that. If you have a 40-year sentence, it's strictly 40. It's not 40 because of a 25 and a 15. It's 40 because of 40. Um, and if they do give you a sentence in that case, there has to be a start and an end date to each charge. So if I had
Okay.
5, I had to have a start date for the 25 and an end date for the 25. And I should have the option of getting parole on that 25 overseas in any programs on that 25 and then starting the 15. But I don't have that. So uh, that case was put together illegally when I got sentenced. And my trial judge also said that that's one of the reasons that I would get back. But I didn't understand it at the time because I didn't know law. I didn't
Hmm.
know the case law that I needed to study to get that rectified. I didn't know what I needed to do. And I think a lot of people come in the system the same way. They get their sentences, they grow up with the lack of that education, legally and also just academically. And having that lack of the education and not knowing where to search and what to search for, we end up doing way more time than we should be doing. We end up in here longer than we need to be in here. We learn our lessons and all of that throughout the time, but it could have been a lot faster. We could have been home with our families a lot quicker. And that's a major problem is that we don't have the mind most of the time to search for the things that we need to find. We want to get home so bad, but to put in that work is a different thing. It's one thing to say that we want to get there, but then to actually understand how to use the tools that we have, like that's not set up for us. We're not taught that. We taught how to just go through the system and survive the best way you can. So most guys are not even focused on getting to their case. They focus on surviving day to day. And I can say that's where I was coming in. I didn't have the mind state to uh, continue to press through my charges. Once I felt as though I didn't get any alleviation on the first time I went to court. I felt as though, okay, well, I did it once. That's it. I'll just wait instead of continue to press on. Like we give up a lot faster, being as though we feel like we're in a situation where it's like hopeless. And we see a lot of other people around us that's on the same time. They on the same time. They have the same things and worse going on. So that like doesn't motivate a lot of people to press forward. It pushes them to lay back and just accept their circumstances for a while. And that's what I was going through for a minute.
So what helped you get out of that rut? What made you say, you know what, I need to fight this?
Um, Seeing as though I had family out there that needed me. And when I called, that was expressed. Uh, like while we in here, we had so much other things going on. Like we had family out there that really depend on us, depend on our words, depend on our actions to carry for them to move on in their daily lives. Like we sit there and we don't see the magnitude of our influence. We don't see the magnitude of our actions or how they leave a lasting impression on our family members. So I have two nephews and a niece out there. Um, I have a sister that's out there on drugs and can't like take care of that.
Right.
I have a mother that's out there that's trying to pick up the slack. Um, so I have my brother. He passed away due to the same thing, the drugs. Um, OD'd and now like we down a family member behind the same thing that's breaking us apart. So
Wow.
once I started seeing all of these things take place, it's like how many more people do we gotta lose in the process? How many more sacrifices need to be made before I feel like it's time for me to press and get back out there and change the things that I want to change because we feel like in here we can't change too much. Like
Right.
it's so much going on out there when we hear it that we have no control over how to change it. And that's one thing that my father told me. He's like, man, you worrying about what's going on out there. You need to be worrying about what you need to do to get out there
Mm-hmm.
first. So like you can't sit there and wonder what could be happening if you were out there if you're not out there. So you have to get out there first. So that's a lot of the things that press me towards digging inside my case a lot more, finding things that were there the entire time. That's what a lot of people have in their cases. They have loopholes. They have a lot of illegal effects going on that were there the entire time since they got sentenced.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, due to the lack of know-how, due to the lack of motivation, uh, you sit back and just accept the circumstances. And these are not normal circumstances. There's nothing about these conditions that are normal.
Mm.
For time, we make them normal in our minds. So you have people that come home after 10, 15, 20 years and don't know how to move in society, don't
Right.
conduct themselves. And some end up back in the same position because of the recidivism rate is so high because of that. Because
Right.
people don't know how to adapt. They adapt to this for so long that when they get out there, the only thing that they know is
You have 60 seconds remaining.
in prison.
Mm.
That's it.
Right.
We have to change that.
We have 60 seconds, well, a little less now. You'll be able to call back, Mr. Moore.
Yes, ma'am. I'll call directly back. I have a lot more to say.
Okay, let's get Mr. Moore back on the phone. Call us right back, Mr. Moore. We're going to take a break.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for joining us. Um, like, share, and subscribe. If you guys have a show, something you want to get out to the people, something you want to talk about, Black Box Radio is your platform. You can send the email to blackboxboxxradio@gmail.com. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Thank you guys for joining us. This is Fighting for Freedom. I am Davita alongside my husband. His name is Rodney Pitts. We are fighting for freedom. This is a platform designed to give those individuals who are behind the walls, who are incarcerated, a place to speak. You can come on. If you have a loved one who is incarcerated, or if you want to come on yourself, shoot us an email. We are at fighting for the number 4 freedom at myyahoo.com. And we'll send you out some information and you can fill it out. We can bring you on, your loved one. Again, like, share, subscribe. We do have a special guest on. His name is Mr. Wesley Moore, aka Manny. We are waiting for him to call back. These guys are calling us live from the prison. They only get, you may not know, but they get 30 minutes roughly to speak to us, and then the call is ended. We give them time to call back in and reconnect with us and continue our conversation. Mr. Wesley Moore, he is at WCI, which is Western Correctional Institution. That's in Cumberland. He has been there for, I believe, his sentence was 40 years, but so far he has spent 10. I'm not sure if they were all at WCI, but that is currently where he is now. And he was just, telling us about him, his childhood, and where he came from, and what landed him in prison. So it's a great interview. We're just waiting for him to reconnect back with us. Again, like I said, we're on every third Sunday at 7 o'clock. Join us, spread the word. We're trying to get this thing moving, so please like, share, and subscribe to us. Again, thank you guys for coming back. So we're just waiting for them to get on, waiting for them to call back and log in. They're doing a sound check right now just to get it sound right. We do have a comment in there. Mr. Reginald Braswell, thank you for joining us, sir. I once journaled why incarcerated prison is a place where hope goes to die. That sounds like that's about accurate. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Braswell. We appreciate you coming on. They're still doing the sound check, and Mr. Moore will be back with us shortly, guys. That's my cat back there.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, he's on here.
He's on.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Welcome back, Mr. Moore. Welcome back. Thank you for calling back. Thank you for reconnecting with us. So let's continue. You was just telling us about, how you managed to, or what started you rather, to start fighting. Your family out here needed you. You can continue.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the motivating factor. My family, knowing that I had more out there to push forward to, instead of sitting in here thinking about what I could do, pushing forward and making the right changes, and not just fighting, going through the case law, but making a transformation within myself, because I don't feel that a lot of people do the work.
Mm-hmm.
They want to get out there, they want to do this, they want to do that. You can't do that unless you get yourself together. There's no way that you're going to say that, all right, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to provide for 2 to 3 to 5 people and myself at once. As soon as I get out there, you got to have yourself together first before you can help anybody. Before you can reach out to anybody, you have to have yourself together. There's no way that we can help anybody if we don't have our own house in order. So that's the main thing. That's what I try to focus on every day, is making sure that I'm all the way together for those people. I don't think that it works no matter how much time I get off of my sentence, no matter if they release me today tomorrow. I have to be conditioned for those problems that I'm going to face, because it's going to be challenges every day.
Right.
It's not an easy road just going out there and getting into the job field. It's going to be twice as hard, if not 10 times as hard, than as though I'm a felon, than as though I had the charges that I had. it's not going to be an easy run. So I know that I had to prepare myself for the questions of the interview, the discrimination from the company, um, the side eyes, the look that people are going to give, and as though I'm coming from where I'm coming from, and I'm trying to push forth into an industry and want people to trust me uh, to put me in that position.
Right.
I had to pull myself together to face all of those things in a society where I know nothing about. And I had to learn how people think, learn how people move all over again. I'm in a new environment and I had to adapt again. People tend to run back to what they feel as though is normal and what they feel as though is comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Like step outside that comfort zone because they feel like, okay, well, I'm gonna get let down. I'm gonna see some type of failure, or like you have to welcome that. You have to welcome the failure because it's another test. It's a lesson. Learning in that failure, so it's not really a failure. It's just a lesson. And once people start to put themselves out there in that manner, um, you won't sit there and feel bad about being let down. You just gain the lesson from it and you push forward. Now you have more ammo to go to the next situation and know, all right, well, this is what this person wants from me. This is what they seek from me. This is what they expect. And now you know. But a lot of people end up looking at it from a negative perspective. And they shoot themselves down because someone can do it.
Mm.
Go back to what they know. And 9 times out of 10 is the same thing that got them in the predicament that they were in. And look, I've seen it multiple times. Dudes will sit here and talk back and forth. Yeah, I'm about to go home and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And I will see them come back in a year. It's
Wow.
like because they never had anything fully together. Like they had a plan, but once that plan didn't work the way that they wanted to, they opted for something else, which was what they knew before. That thing that was comfortable, that thing that was just so familiar that they never wanted to let it go. So that'd be the worst thing for us most times. The thing that's familiar and the thing that's comfortable. The things that scare us, the things that like have us uncomfortable, most of the times are the things that are the best things for us. Um, and that's something that I had to learn over time. And I feel that's the reason why I'm as ready as I am because I face those demons, I face those challenges of myself. I've looked in the mirror so many times that I understand and I know that person so well that no one can tell me about the things that I'm doing before it happens. Um, I can see it ahead of time and I know the adjustments that I need to make. Um, and another thing that I wanted to speak on, when we spoke on the childhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason I used to always, and that's what I think a lot of people do also. The reason I used to think that I ended up in the place that I ended up was because of how my childhood was and the situation between my father. Um, when he ultimately made the decision that he made to let him in prison, he has a life fit. And he's been gone since I was 6. I blamed him for the decisions that I made over time. Even though after a while I was a grown man, the decision that I made that put me in here, I was 20 years old, 21 years old until I made that decision. So it's like I can't continue to blame this person and hold on to that because they made a decision that had consequences of me being left without my father out there. And I felt as though if he was there, this could have put me in a better position to move like this, to move like that, and had success in this field or that field. But it was ultimately up to me. No matter what I thought, no matter how I felt, it was ultimately up to me. Um, my father is serving a sentence down at JCI. He's been down there for the past 25 years.
Mm.
The other Westmore, I wanted to speak on that. He's the guy that has the book with the governor Westmore, and he's the one that's in prison that was spoken about in the book.
Okay.
Uh, Throughout the time of that book being wrote, like they was writing the book and they were doing the process, and I was home. I was about 13, 14 at that time of the process of them getting the book together. But even though I didn't have a good relationship with the father at the time, I never wanted to be a part of the process. Period. So Westmore, the now governor, was coming to my grandmother's house, and he sat down and did interviews and talked. Got backstories from my sister, my grandmother, my brother, um, and these were the things that were going on at the time to get uh, just the gist of his lifestyle and the things that trickled down from the effect of what he did. I didn't want to be a part of that story at all because I felt he was the reason why I was in the position I was in at home.
Okay.
Moved a lot. We had a lot of different situations where we were evicted. Uh, and my mother couldn't meet the bills a lot. So we moved. I went to 8 different schools by the time I was in high school. So
Mm.
I never had that normalcy of getting to know people and having them be like, I don't know what a lifelong friend is. Like, I don't have that. I've always had people that were there for months at a time and then like gone because I gotta go. I gotta move to this place and move to that place. So uh, I used to blame that on my father a lot, and that strained our relationship because he used to reach out a lot. Uh,
Yeah.
he reached out a lot and tried, but me being the kid that I was and seeing how everything that his decision did to the family, I was like, man, like you the reason why I'm struggling right now. You the reason why we can't have a good house, a home to live in right now. Like I blame him for all of that. Like, and we never had a good relationship because of how I felt. So at the time that he was getting his story out, I kind of felt betrayed in a sense because I was asking him about that same situation that landed that he was at. I was asking him. I constantly asked. And I guess he felt as though I wasn't old enough
Right.
in the situation. But then I looked like, well, I'm not old enough, but you able to give a total stranger your life story behind how you feel everything panned out, but you're not going to give that to your son. I felt a way about that. Um, I was stuck in between that. Like, how could you offer up all of that information of like your life to somebody that I don't even know?
Mm.
Yet when I ask you about the situation that puts you where you are, you can't even tell me like one inkling of that situation. So that made me even more mad that he had a book. I didn't care if the book was successful. I didn't care if it catapulted him into fame. It didn't matter to me. What mattered was that relationship of me bonding with him, and I didn't get that. I got somebody else coming into the picture and being able to bond with him on a matter that I asked him about multiple times. Um, and over time, it's like I stopped going to see him. I stopped visiting the jail. I started getting locked up more. Um, I was back and forth to uh, baby bookings with down in Baltimore City, like the Children's Detention Center. Um, I was back and forth through the jail because of having that mistreatment in my mind, like not being guided the right way,
Yeah.
um, and not seeking it from him before. I looked at it. All right, cool. He where he at. I'll get it from the street, and that's what I did. I got the nurturing part from my mother, and I
Mm.
got what else I felt that a man was from the street, and that gave me a lot of different descriptions of what a man's supposed to be. And I've been getting the wrong descriptions for a long time, and that's what a lot of us do also. Growing up in the conditions we grow up in, having those type of situations, if it is people that had those situations with their fathers also, um, having that strained relationship, you look for the example of what that's supposed to be in the streets instead of going to that person and trying to figure it out. And that's what put me in most of the predicaments that I was in because I made choices based off of what the guidance that I received from the street gave me. I pushed myself fully into that. Um, and I really didn't care for the consequences. I just knew that I wanted to gain that guidance in that way. And once I was in it, I was in it. And
Right.
that's what it was. Um, over
So, a question to you. So, that are you related to the governor?
no, the other Westmore is the one that's serving the 20, that did the 25 years already and serving the life sentence. That's my father.
Right. So the governor is no relation to you. That he just was doing the interview.
No relation to me. Yeah, he's
Okay.
the one that did the other half of the book. Yeah.
Okay.
So the book is something that I guess we said that it's mandatory for children in high school to
Okay.
read the book throughout the state. Yeah, so it's definitely it's a good book. It shows a life story of two people that came from the same condition, same name, uh, and same city, and had two different results. They had two different outlooks because of one, the people that they had in their lives, the decisions that they ultimately made, um, and pushing themselves after people pushed them, whatever direction that was. For my father, it ended up being in a negative aspect. For the governor, it ended up being in a positive aspect. He had his trials, but he ultimately overcame and made it to where he is now. And
Hmm.
my father is doing the best that he can to put himself back in society and gain his freedom. Um, that's what we fight for. That's something that he put into my mind on a constant basis. I correspond with him back and forth whenever I can, if we call around the same time, or just speaking to family members, my mother or my grandmother, uh, and back and forth legal advice. That's what we speak on. We speak on legal advice, business, getting our relationship together. Um, I never wanted it to be a situation where I was in the same jail, in the same cell as my father. So I've seen that a couple of times, and that scares me. Like to see two generations of a family of men stuck
Right.
in the
Mm.
same position, and then to have the rest of their family out there. And do you know that people is out there, like especially like family members of those members, they're still like, I'd rather be in there with my father and my grandfather. They the only men that I know that move the way that they move, that speak the way that they speak, and stand on what they stand on. And that's my true family. Instead of them being like they want to succeed where they are in society, they would want to be in there with them because that's the only real word that they get. That's not good.
Mm.
It's not good at all. We have that going on a constant basis. So you had younger dudes fighting to get in here more than they fighting to get out because their families are in here most of the time more than they are out there. So I never wanted that type of situation. Um, we spoke about getting me transferred down there, but it's like that's something that I really don't want to happen. I don't want to be in that conversation of, oh, that's West and that's his son right there. That's like I would want to be like that if we have a business back home. Uh,
Right.
if we flourish and keep back home and having our family members together at a cookout and saying that's Weston, that's his son right there. Not in the jail cell saying like there they are in these conditions. So um, I've seen those situations way too many times, and like we got to work on eradicating these things, finding out what is the solution to us not having a generational thing going on, where though we ended up in prison by the generation. Like, where does it stop? I heard my nephew getting locked up, and it hurt my heart, and I know it hurt my father's heart to hear me get locked up. So it's like, when do it stop? Like, when do we have the resources put into our community that's going to put us in a better position? In the same way that these counties and things lined up, like it should be the same for our inner city.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing. We shouldn't have resources being taken away, schools taken away to the point we don't have nothing to do. After we come from school, after we come from in the house, we have nothing to do. You have so much idle time in everybody's hands. All they're thinking about is what they seeing on TV and what they hearing in the music, and they doing it without a thought. Because what else is it to do? So I never wanted that for my nephew. I heard it happening, and um, it crushed me because I feel like I played a part in that by not being there to show them the example of how it's supposed to be. And I know my father felt the same way. And I know that there's plenty of fathers out there that feel the same way.
Yeah.
That if they were there, that they could have made a difference. That they could have just pushed this person in that direction and everything would be great. So um, we gotta change. We gotta get the guys out there that's actually putting in the work to make sure that people don't come back in here. To make sure that people don't end up taking lives, unnecessary lives, behind unnecessary things. Because after a few years of sitting down, the dudes that did what they did, they sit back and say it wasn't worth it. I was just feeling like this at this time. Made a lifelong decision off of one feeling at that time. Instead of it being putting them in an arena where they could thrive off of something that they had good skills in, by honing in on those things and being able to bring that out of them. Like, that the focus is not put on our children and our communities like that, where people are seeing the talents that they have and honing in on them and saying, okay, well, we're going to put this kid in this craft and let him thrive, let her thrive. Most
Mm-hmm.
people have these talents and then like the light gets shut out to tell them that they can't do this and they can't do that. Or they just subjected to doing one to two things. There's not a wide variety of things that is expected of our people. We either this or we that. That need to change. We need to have a list of things, options that we could always go to whenever we need. We need to always resources in the community so that you can understand what they're good at and push for that on a constant basis.
What do you think? What do you think? Will get through. These kids out here are definitely terrorizing the city. It's a lot missing. Like you said, it's a list. We need a list of things, and I don't want to say that the list isn't there. Like you said, it's not the options for them. They don't see a lot of those options. What do you think it's going to take?
Right. It's going to take these government officials to step in um, and direct the community towards certain programs. Um, build programs based off of the needs of the community. Get everyone together, call meetings, whether it be over Zoom, over town hall meetings, however it had to have. People need to understand that they got to bring the community together. The same way that they do a census and gain everyone's information and utilize that for whatever budget they need. They can gain that same information from people on a daily basis to find out what's needed in the community to push the children into better results,
Hmm.
to understand how they need to be taught in school, to understand what things that they're good at, parents who they have, and let's go ahead and maximize that stage for them so that they practicing that on a constant basis, so that they're occupied and they're not worried about what's going on the street.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, it's a lot out here that's missing. It's a lot that the children not getting. I think the things that entertain them is everything that's against them. And like you said, one bad decision will change your life forever. And it's no coming back from a lot of those things. This community, this place that we're living in is unforgiving, and a lot of them don't want us to make it. They don't want us to get ahead. Um, it was it was a thing now where going around to the stores and bum rushing the stores and just stealing whatever you can get, to them that's enjoyment. They don't understand, or they don't see that people work hard for their businesses, and that's how they feed their family. And to them, it's just a fun time for them. So, are you there, Mr. Moore? I think we may have lost him, guys. I'm not sure. Is he on, Jai? Mr. Moore?
Guys, I'm not sure. The call is still on, but I don't hear him.
Okay. He may have dropped off. I'm not sure. We're getting to the end of the show. So thank you guys for being on. That was Mr. Moore. He came on. Hopefully my husband will be calling in soon and closing the show out. We're going to see if he comes back on. I don't think he is on. So hopefully, my husband will be calling in soon. Thank you guys. This is Fighting for Freedom. I am Davita. Thank you guys for tuning in. Fighting for Freedom, we come on every third Sunday, 7 o'clock. This is a platform designed to give incarcerated individuals a voice, a platform. You can come on the show even if you're not incarcerated. If you love someone, if you have a loved one, I'm sorry, that's incarcerated, you want to bring them on, or if you want to come on yourself, if you know someone in the community who's doing great things for those individuals who are fighting for freedom, you're welcome to come on the show as well. Send us an email at fighting for the number four freedom at myyahoo.com. This is a family here at Black Box Radio. If you have a idea, if you have some content, if you have some things that you want to get out, Black Box Radio is probably that platform for you. Come on. You can send an email to Black Box, that's two X's, BLAK Box XX Radio at Gmail. And use this same platform here to get your information out. We are a great family. Again, like I said, like, share, and subscribe. Right now, we're just waiting for my husband to come on so he can close this out. Hopefully, he'll be on soon. What's more, Hello, y'all saw me jamming. I was just jamming. Our music that come on before the show is lit. Just want y'all to know that. Mr. Westmore, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure what happened, but thank you again for tuning back in with us. So this is going towards the end of the show. A couple of things that we like to do towards the end of the show. First, I want to thank you for coming on. And if you have anybody you want to shout out, if there's anybody you want to recognize, we're going to give you the space to do that.
Okay. I would like to shout out my mom, Wanda Price. Thank you for being the greatest. My best support. My fiance, Marquita Taylor. My father, Westmore Senior. Um, Thank you for being there at all times. Uh, Westmore, I'm waiting on your call. I'm waiting on you to get back to my family members, man. Speaking directly to the governor. Um, just let me know something, man. I appreciate your time.
All right. So we also asked everyone to drop a jewel. Just drop a jewel for the people, something for them to take back with them.
Uh, just always remember to keep fighting. Keep family first. Make sure that you always look in the mirror before you dive out into everybody else's situation and everybody else's problems. Get yourself together first. Make sure that your home is intact before you start to uh, get into anybody else's problems. You can't solve until you solve yourself.
And that is a jewel. And we want to thank you again, Mr. Moore. Thank you for your time. You're welcome to come back at any time and come back on the show. We would love to have you back. The doors are always open and revolving. And that's it. I guess we're just gonna wait for my husband to call back in and close the show out. But again, thank you for the caller who called in for him, your fiance. We appreciate you for taking the time and allowing him to come on. Thank you for being an avenue for him. And Mr. Moore, thank you so much, sir. Until next time.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Jessica. Appreciate it.
all right. Enjoy the rest of your evening, sir. So I guess we're just waiting for y'all to call in now, Ja.
Yep.
Okay, I sent him a. Hopefully he'll look at his tablet and see for him to call back. Thank you guys for coming on. He dropped a jewel. Family first, always, always, always. Like,
Accept.
subscribe.
Well,
Who's
press.
that? I think that was him. That wasn't him.
I believe so. I think he has to call back. Something happened.
Okay, all right, that's what's up. So we're just waiting for him to call back. Um, welcome back, guys. Is he on, Ja?
No, I'm waiting for him to call back.
Oh, okay. Well, he's taking forever. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you guys for still hanging around. Just waiting for Mr. Pitts to call back and take us out of here. Hopefully, he'll call back soon. That's my cat back there. Say hi, Sushi. He was in the show the whole time. So we had two guests on for tonight.
From
Rodney Pitts.
There he go. He's coming.
1. To send a voicemail, press 2. Call from
Rodney Pitts.
You gotta press 0, I think. Hello,
Hello.
Mr. Pitts.
What's up?
Hi, babe. You ready?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's get it.
All right. First and foremost, I want to give thanks to Miss Queen for making all of this possible. I want to thank Jai for all of the hard work that he put into this. I want to thank you, my wife, for being who you are. You know what I mean, and helping to assist in this aspect and this part of the struggle. Um, as we wrap up, let's remember that.
It hung up.
This is
Hello.
live. This is live. This is
It
live.
is live, y'all. It is live and it hung up. You think I should just wrap it up, Ja?
I say,
Huh?
I say, give them another minute.
Dang. Them tablets in there, they just show off whenever. Dang. Hopefully he'll call back, guys. Mm.
Call from
Rodney
Sorry.
Pitts.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2. Call from
Rodney Pitts.
to ex-
Hello?
Hey, yeah, sorry about that. You know how these tablets work sometimes, man. Hey,
Get it.
you know,
Okay.
let me wrap this up real fast. I say, as we wrap up tonight's conversation, let's remember that justice isn't just a concept; it's a commitment to truth, integrity, and to the fight that continues beyond these airwaves. The stories we share, the voices we amplify, they all serve as a call to action. Change doesn't happen in silence. It happens when we demand it, when we organize, and when we refuse to accept injustice as the status quo. Keep questioning, keep pushing, and most of all, keep fighting for freedom, both inside and on the outside. And until next time, stay vigilant, stay engaged, and stay in the fight.
All right. There you have it. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you in the third Sunday of next month.